And we are live. How y'all doing today, Cash Sports family? I am here on a Saturday night. Um, shout out to people who might be a day ahead of me. But you know what? I'm here, I'm ready, and I'm here talking Cash Sports. And today I got a special edition for y'all. Today I want to talk the fight game. You already know what it is, man. I am here. I'm talking about any and every sport. Sorry, I just got to change my camera a little bit so you guys can get a good observation, right? So today I want to talk, the fight game a little bit. So today's Saturday. We got some things brewing up. We had some events today in the sports industry. On both ways, boxing and UFC. So we have a lot of fighting events today, and I want to get into it. For those who might want to follow my page and do want to talk fights, I'm here. I'm ready for it, right? One fight today, I'm just gonna go straight to the point. One fight today I do want to point out is the Anthony Joshua versus Usyk second fight, right? So today was a heavyweight bout. Very exciting. It was for a bunch of championships. We're all aware of what type of boxer Anthony Joshua is, and even the background of Usyk, right? Alexander Usyk. He's a Ukrainian fighter who is actually participating in the Russian-Ukraine war, and he was on the front lines. So when he was participating in that, he had to steer away from that just to participate in this heavyweight bout. But Anthony Joshua is one of a kind, right? So for a little background on this whole matchup, right? And there's other things I do want to get into because I know you guys want to tap into that UFC fight, and I'm currently watching right now. You guys might not know, but I am streaming right now simultaneously as I'm watching the fight. You guys might not see it, but I am watching it right now. I'm in the fourth. I'm in the fourth round. Usman versus Edwards. I'm pretty late on the curve. I started watching at round 3, but once I started watching, I saw Usman was having a little bit of advantage over Edwards. And let me just tap into that before I get into the boxing match, because I know the boxing match was a little bit later. And so I do want to get into that because, boxing is my more of my expertise. I'm not an expert in everything, but I give my 2 cents where I can, right? So anything we can debate on, anything we can talk about, I'm here for it. Anybody that has, that might know anything more than me, you could definitely come on here. I'm not shy to hear somebody else's perspective on anything that I'm talking about, right? So before I even get into that, let me drop the link in the comment section, right? So let me do that. Boom, and there it is. The link is in the comment section for anybody and anyone who wants to join the chat. This is Late Night Talk for Cash Sports Podcast for anybody who wants to join and debate what I'm talking about right now, right? The fight game. So round 4 just finished for the Usman and Edwards fight 2. So it's looking like Usman is taking this fight. He is taking this round for round 4. It looks like he was controlling him from the wrestling aspect, right? Usman is an exceptional wrestler. That is his background. I know I'm going back and forth between topics, but I want to give you guys an update. I'm sorry I can't show you guys a fight because it is legal. Dana White is, he's harping on it. He's not letting anybody get away with showing fights on the page. So me, I'm still trying to build up. I'm not trying to, get my page shut down or even go to jail at this point, right? So I'm just going to try to keep you guys updated as much as possible. So I hope you guys are tuning in. And so before I get back into the um, Anthony Joshua and Usyk, observation. Please like and subscribe to Cash Sports Podcast if you guys want to hear and see more me, right? Hit that notification button so whenever I go live stream, you guys can tune in whenever. Again, the link is in the comment section for those who want to join on the debate, on the conversation. For anybody who wants that smoke, I am here and I am ready for it. Right? So, back into the Alexander Usyk and Anthony Joshua fight. So, I'm a big boxing fan, right? So, heavyweight division is always known as the biggest weight class in boxing. Anthony Joshua, after winning all his titles and beating Vladimir Klitschko, he became the heavyweight champion of the world. But we all know that he lost his title against Andy Ruiz, and shortly after he requested a rematch and won his titles back. So I have a very interesting opinion in regards to Anthony Joshua, right? So I think Anthony Joshua is an exceptional fighter. I think he's a really great boxer. But we all know the boxing, the sport of boxing. Sorry about that. Right? The sport of boxing. Whoa, yes, sir. I don't know who Josh. Who's Josh, man? You gotta thank you, man. I appreciate it. I do appreciate it, man. I'm gonna put you up here just so you know. I love and appreciate the love, man. I do. So let me get back into it, right? I want to have you on the screen just because you're showing some love, man. So back into it, right? So Anthony Joshua, right? The boxing, the sport of boxing in general has been deteriorating in America. Boxing hasn't been the same. I know we've had Floyd Mayweather. We've had a plethora of boxers who are able, right, to bring box office attraction, to reel fans in, to bring the audience in, right, to get a ton of people to watch the sport of boxing. But over the years, the heavyweight division has taken a huge blow, right? Because the Klitschko brothers have taken over the heavyweight division. Vladimir Klitschko has been the heavyweight champion of the world for 9 years. He nearly broke the record of Joe Louis's of being the heavyweight champion of the world for 11 years. That's how long he was champion. And then that was essentially broken when Vladimir Klitschko went against Tyson Fury. So Klitschko lost against Tyson Fury the first go around. Klitschko's first loss was against Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury went through, some other things that was out of the boxing ring. So that took him, that took away some time from his career, and so he was focused on some other things. So that gave Klitschko, basically the right to be champion again and defend his titles again. And then he defended his titles against Anthony Joshua. And please, for anybody who is watching this video right now, you guys aren't big boxing fans, right? You guys don't know too much about boxing. You guys want to tune in. If you guys want to understand where I'm coming from, watch the Anthony Joshua versus Klitschko fight. It is worth it. It is. I'm not just saying that just from my seat, and just telling y'all just cuz, right? This is a great fight. You have to watch it. Anthony Joshua versus Klitschko. It is, first of all, I'm gonna just say it off the rip. It is a knockout. It does not go to a decision. So these guys are duking it out. Anthony Joshua, I would definitely say that was Anthony Joshua's best fight ever throughout his career. Whoa, what's going on? Oh, no way. Hey, just so you guys tune in, breaking news, Usman just lost to Anthony Edwards. And it's a TKO. I can't believe I'm saying this on live right now. Usman is done. Yo, he's lost this fight. He's lost. Anthony Edwards, he's celebrating right now. He is happy. This is Usman's fourth, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this is Usman's 14th straight fight. He's won 14 straight bouts, right? And Anthony Edwards just came up big. This is a huge upset for Anthony Edwards. For anybody who bet on Anthony Edwards for this fight, they definitely bet big. Oh, and it was the kick. So it was a kick. It was a left kick to Usman's right jaw, and that is what broke him down. Man, I can't believe it. I see that one guy that's live streaming right now. For Josh, you see me live streaming. Look, I'm telling you what's going on in UFC right now. This is a live update. Usman just got knocked out. Knocked down. Right kick to the face. Down. It was a one-shot, one-hitter quitter. Good night. Man, this is crazy because Usman, if he would have won this fight, he would have tied Anderson Silva's record for the most. I'm sorry. I know. I'm so excited. Is because it's just like I'm just watching it. And, knockouts just get me crazy, man. It's a knockout, bro. Usman got knocked out. Anthony Edwards is the champion now. This is ridiculous, yo. This is crazy. Josh, I know you tuning in, man. Thank you, bro. Hey, man, damn, I'm saying the same thing. I'm saying the same thing for real. I did not expect this. A lot of people lost a lot of money. Man, I'm glad I didn't do no fight prediction on this one. Saying that Usman's gonna win this fight. If people want to look back, I'll be like, yo, Cash, what's up, man? Like, yo, you had me betting on Usman. I lost big, bro. Nah, man, this is crazy, yo. I know I'm kind of getting out of character. But Anthony Edwards is I'm excited for the brother. He now he's UFC champion. We're gonna see how long he's gonna hold on to that. It's definitely a big fight for real. Back to what I was saying though. With Usman, it was his 14th straight win in the UFC. So if he would have won this match, he would have tied Anderson Silva for the most wins, for the longest streak in the UFC in terms of wins. So Usman was that close. He was almost there. He was gonna get it, but he got that kick to the jaw, man. I'm telling you, Anthony Edwards is hype. These are the moments in sports that you really turn and you look at and you're like, man, this is what makes the fight game so interesting. Hey, second viewer, I see you just tapped in, right? I'm gonna give you an update because I want to tell you guys, right? Anthony Edwards just won. Anthony Edwards just fought against Usman, as you well know, and he just knocked out Usman with a kick to the jaw. And it's a one-hitter quitter, TKO. So, man, this is crazy for real. This is crazy for real. I did not expect this to happen. I'm staying on this topic now. I'm staying on this subject. I can't, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm watching it right now. I'm watching them announce the fight. I'm watching them announce the winner. The referee just picked up Anthony Edwards' hand. It's official. He is a champion. He is hype. He is hype. Usman's over there. He's looking hurt. Oh, man. This is crazy. Man, I know the people in Vegas are going wild. I know this messed up everybody money. Oh man, this is crazy. This is crazy for real, for real. And not to mention, this was in the 5th round too. The 5th round. This happened in the 5th round. Anthony Edwards dropped Usman in the 5th round. All right, so I'm gonna try to give you guys updates as much as possible. But in the meantime, you know what? Let's get back to the Anthony Joshua and Usyk fight, right? So, I believe the last part where I left off was Anthony Joshua going against Klitschko. So Anthony Joshua beats Klitschko in a fight, and it was an exciting fight. It's a fight that you got to watch. You got to see it. You got to see it. I'm not. Look, look at me as the liaison for you guys, right? Who don't watch boxing, and then who are trying to watch boxing. I'm telling you now, right? If you haven't seen the Klitschko fight versus Anthony Joshua, watch that fight. It is a must watch. Thank you, Chanel Tripler, for giving all the love. I'm trying to bring that heat as much as possible. Thank you. I appreciate it. You already know I'm out here doing my thing. I'm trying to get it out here to y'all as much as possible. Yes, sir. Right, so watch that fight. Point blank, period. Woo. So Anthony Joshua is no stranger to being on the losing side of an upset. We're all aware that Anthony Joshua lost to Andy Ruiz in their first bout, but then he redeemed himself in the second bout. But the fact of the matter is, with Anthony Joshua in his career as a champion, to me, now this is the part where I start to say, this is when it starts to become opinionated on my part, right? So Anthony Joshua, this is how I look at it with the heavyweight division. First off, I'm gonna start off by saying it. And Tyson Fury is the best heavyweight in that division. Point blank, period. I'm sorry, Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua. It's no debate right now. It's Tyson Fury as the best. Strictly from what we've seen against Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury, I mean, they fought 3 times. And look what he's done. He's knocked him out. First go around, I would say you guys watch that first fight between Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. Hell of a fight. Ended in a tie. But for me personally, I feel like Tyson Fury won that fight. Yeah, Deontay Wilder knocked Tyson Fury down. But with that being said, I still think Tyson Fury won that fight. And then the second go around, I mean, we already know that Tyson Fury won the second fight. And then the third fight, that's when Tyson Fury cemented himself and knocked out Deontay Wilder. Right? So aside from that, we already knocked out the number 1. So then you talk about number 2, that's when it starts to get a little hazy. Because Deontay Wilder has fought the best. Even though, in my opinion, I feel like he hasn't beaten Tyson Fury, but at least we can give him that acknowledgement and say, okay, you know what? We'll give him his credit where credit is due. He got in the ring with the best, and he did his thing. But Anthony Joshua, this is where I start to have somewhat of a conflicting opinion, because I view Anthony Joshua as somebody who can be the best, who had the capability of being the best in the heavyweight division. But Anthony Joshua has just came up short in numerous situations. That fight against Andy Ruiz. A lot of people don't know he wasn't even supposed to fight Andy Ruiz. He was supposed to fight Jarrell Miller. I hope I'm pronouncing the brother's name right, but it was supposed to be Jarrell Miller. He tested positive for PEDs or some type of substance. And then that's when Andy Ruiz came in to fill the fight. And Andy Ruiz beat him by a TKO. So he had to get the rematch going. Fight Andy Ruiz, right? Lost a lot of muscle weight and focused more on boxing and the fundamentals. And then came out and smoked Andy Ruiz in a unanimous decision. But now that Anthony Joshua has been champion, and then he needed to defend his belt against Alexander Usyk. I mean, just watch that fight, man. Usyk just looks like a better boxer than Anthony Joshua. He just is. And you know what's crazy is it's on Alexander Usyk's side, he looks like a hero. He looks like the hero of heroes. Just let me pan it out this way. Alexander Usyk, right, who's a Ukrainian citizen, went over to Ukraine when the war was declared and fought on the front lines as the heavyweight champion of the world. Do you know how prestigious that is? For those that might not be familiar, being heavyweight champion of the world is one of the most prestigious things a country can have. When a country has the heavyweight champion of the world on their end, it is somewhat a political advantage. I don't know why. I don't. But it is. Any country, America, Europeans, Chinese, or Asian, just in general, anybody who's heavyweight champion of the world benefits off that. I don't know why. It's just a thing. It just is. It's almost like bragging rights. So Usyk was looked at as this, this heroic figure, and they pulled this man from the war so he can rematch, right? So he can defend his titles. Because once you're champion, you gotta defend your titles. You gotta defend your titles. So he came back from Ukraine, fresh off, doing some big dirty work, and said, you know what? Let me handle some light work real quick. I'll be right back. I'll be right there. I gotta go handle some light work real quick. And then beat Anthony Joshua in a bout. Right? So I want to show you guys something before I even talk any further. And this is something that happened in a post-fight. Something that happened after the fight between Anthony Joshua and Usyk. So I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna show it out. I'm just gonna show it out there, and then you guys can have your opinion from there. So when I do that, I'm going to do that right this instant. So here it is. Right. I'm gonna play it up for you guys. Let me kill the music. Okay. Here it is.
So that's just emotion. Wait, I'm talking. Okay.
We start over.
So that's just emotion. Wait, I'm talking. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Sorry, guys. Look, if you knew my story, you would understand the passion. I ain't no amateur boxer from 5 years old that was an elite prospect from a youth, bro. I was going to jail. I see some hype little youths in Reading jail. I got bail and I started training my ass off. Because if I got sentenced, I wanted to be able to fight. I bust my case. But cousin Benga, where's he at? G14, raise your hand. I'm stealing this, Usyk, sorry. But it's because the passion we put into this. Guys, I'm telling you, this guy, to be me, tonight, maybe I could have done better, but it shows the levels of hard work he must have put in. So please, give him a round of applause as our heavyweight champion of the world. Woo! I'm not a 12-round fighter. Look at me. I'm a new breed of heavyweights. All them heavyweights, Mike Tyson, Sonny Liston, Jack Dempsey. Oh, yeah, you don't throw combinations like Rocky Marciano. Because I ain't 14 stone, that's why. I'm 18 stone, I'm heavy. It's hard work. This guy here is a phenomenal talent. We're going to cheer for him 3 times. Well, how many belts you got now, bro? 5. Hip, hip. Hip, hip. Hip, hip. Hip, hip. Hip, hip. And as I said, I was studying Ukraine and all the champions that have come from your amazing country, but I've never been there. But at the same time, what's happening there is, I don't know what's happening, but it's not nice at the end of the day. I've seen it with Lomachenko in his second fight against Orlando. There was unrest in Ukraine, right or wrong. There was issues in Ukraine in your second fight. There was civil war. Vitaly Klitschko, when he faced Danny Williams, civil unrest. Usyk as a champion, please raise your hand. Under them circumstances, he managed to become champion. Champ, champ! Champ, champ! Champ, champ! And I just want to say, Bismillah.
Right. So you guys can hear me? All right, just making sure. So that was the video between Anthony Joshua and Alexander Usyk, right? That was a post-fight with Anthony Joshua shouting out Alexander Usyk. So I'm gonna bring in one of my boys. You know, he's big on boxing, and he's gonna give his insight on what went down. So I'm gonna add him to the stream right here. My
So
guy,
what's going on?
what's going on, man? How you doing?
Good, man. It's been a crazy night of combat sports, definitely, man. Definitely. I just got through, but I know we on Anthony Joshua, but I just got through watching that
Mm.
the UFC joint. Usman, did you catch how it ended?
Yeah, no, I did catch how it ended. I was
Okay.
actually giving live updates. I was watching it
Mm,
as I was streaming. Right.
okay.
So
Yeah.
I saw Usman got knocked out with
Yeah, my fault.
with
That's
a
blowing
kick.
my mind. Yeah.
Nah, that definitely hey man, that blew everybody's minds, bro, because Usman heading into that fight, he was the favorite. Um, I was tuning into a lot of sports debaters. A lot of people had Usman as the heavy favorite in this fight. Anthony
Oh,
Edwards was definitely not favored into the fight. Usman, this was going to be his 15th straight win in the UFC, and he would have potentially tied Anderson Silva with this bout, right? But he
yeah.
didn't.
And
Now Anthony Edwards is the champion of this division. What is it like? So let's go to UFC real quick. Where does Usman go from here, in your opinion?
man, first and foremost, it definitely. I'm gonna say this. It definitely showed. The fight definitely showed. Well, Usman definitely showed why he was such the favorite, and
Mm,
so on and so forth. Because I definitely, obviously, we all could see he had it in the bag all the way, throughout the fight. But that's just a fighting game, man. That's what makes the fighting game so crazy and what it is. How you just can't count somebody out.
mm.
And yeah,
Oh, my guy just went out.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I had a call, but looking forward,
Mm,
man. I really think Usman's gonna have to get adjusted to a lot of things in the future, man. First of all, just the lifestyle, like your whole how everybody views you and things like that, and like the pedestal they put
mm,
you on. Just the second they love you, you already know the next day they're gonna hate you. They're gonna make fun of them left and right. So I feel like it's gonna be a mental battle, definitely bounce.
mm,
For him to have to bounce back
mm,
based off of what just happened to him and things like that. But man, we gotta wait and see with that one, man. For real, we
mm,
gotta wait and see. He has so many questions to answer. I definitely think like for instance, if they have a rematch,
mm,
I think I could see Usman, kind of continuing on what he did in his previous fight, just without getting knocked out and things like that. But
mm,
it's just so many questions. He gonna have to like really like a knockout could take a toll on you, especially like that. And UFC, I'm more so boxing. UFC is a little different than boxing. I feel like
mm,
them guys are a lot more hard body, in my opinion, anyway. So people tend to bounce back from knockouts and things like that in the UFC. It's just that's the nature of their sport, definitely.
mm,
But yeah, man, we're gonna have to wait and see. Really, we're gonna have to wait and
mm.
see what Usman. But I definitely want to wish all the best to him.
Okay.
And things like that. Man, that's just crazy. It hurt my
Mm,
heart, honestly.
mm. No, I hear you. No, for sure. It was definitely an L on a lot of fronts. People, nah, for real, for real. But I want to tap into this boxing match, right? Because
Yes,
this was also something that occurred. You did say boxing was your expertise, so I want to tap into that, right? So the Anthony Joshua and Usyk fight. What's your take on that?
all
As
right.
you were watching the fight.
Um, just skills. AJ, speaking of knockouts, I feel like we all know he. First of all, he had that one knockout to the Hispanic dude, Andy Ruiz. So it's like since then, I ain't gonna lie. I feel like AJ. Yeah, I think AJ definitely his spirit was kind of broken since then. I ain't gonna lie, in my opinion. So I feel like
Mm,
just me watching him in the ring against Usyk. I feel
mm,
like he's just not the same fighter. He definitely, he said first of all we see his physique, we see how athletic he is, things like that,
mm,
and just how, but he lost the aggressiveness honestly. So
mm,
looking at this fight, he's already fighting kind of timid. I just feel like I don't know, he was still trying to box Alexander instead of really imposing his size and his will. Things
mm,
like if you're just watching it as a fan and you see all
mm,
Joshua's attributes and how he's built things like that, of course you wouldn't help understand why he wouldn't just go all out, things like that. He looks like that, the more athletic guy, things like that. But dang, I feel like
mm,
skills do pay the bills though. So with just Usyk, he's kind of like the Lomachenko of the heavyweights. Like, and
mm,
that's the thing though. The difference with him, with heavyweights compared to other heavyweights and things like that. Just he fights. He could fight really like any weight class. His style will do him real good. He moves. He's slick. Things like that. He boxes.
mm,
He's not the typical heavyweight. So honestly, Joshua wasn't to me. He wasn't supposed to win that fight. Like in the rematch, I couldn't see him winning.
mm,
So I'm honestly not surprised now. Definitely I like Joshua. So I'm still hurt to see that outcome and things like that. But all in
mm,
all, it's kind of what I expected. It's kind of what I
mm,
expected. Usyk is just shifty. It's something about them Eastern Europeans, honestly. Like, they can move. They got their school of boxing is. I feel like it's new. It's first of all it's new because they haven't been around for that long, but it's very effective and they're just tough in general. So
mm,
that's why even Usyk being the size he is able to stand up to Joshua and and hang with them as if they're the same size or something. He's still in there
mm,
tough. Like, yeah, he's game all the way around. So honestly, it's what I expected. It's what I expected.
mm. So where does Anthony Joshua take his career from this point? Like
Oh, I honestly, in my opinion, not to cut you off. In my opinion, I think he needs to just trying to go for some money fights. Like I say, see what Wilder talking about. They kind of in the same boat, but they could still make more
mm,
money than I feel like they can make more money together than they would fighting some of these guys. Who they should be fighting. Things like or
mm,
the top heavyweights fighting. I feel like a guy like Joshua and a guy like Wilder, their fights would still make the most sense. Co-part.
mm,
That's what the fans want to see. Like, come on now, like we wish it had happened in their prime before things planned out how it planned out. But I think at this point, Joshua, like he's already made enough money. I mean, his legacy is pretty decent already. Things like that. At this
mm,
point, I think he should just go out with a bang and just really, you know, make the most sense of his fights. And by that, I mean make the most money out of his fights. With just do what makes the most sense. And then
mm,
honestly get up out of there because your health, is still more important too. So you ain't gotta. He already did a lot, and he ain't been boxing for that long, so he could definitely, like I said, I don't want to say rob the game, but he could definitely go out with a bang, like I said, and still, you know, We just all success. Because if you think about it, we get on Joshua's head. That's another thing. We get on Anthony Joshua's head, but he ain't
Mm,
been boxing. He been boxing, shorter, for no time at all. I think obviously like a late teen or like early 20s or something like that.
mm,
He won the heavyweight gold and all that type of stuff. So he really ain't got, he ain't got much to prove. You gonna take your wins. You are gonna take your losses. Everybody's not gonna be like Floyd
mm,
Mayweather, But he's making subpar Mayweather money.
mm,
Definitely. So it's a business at the end of the day. I don't think he has too much more to prove. Just try to get one or two fights in that really makes the most sense money wise.
mm,
Because he could still fight. He could still fight Wilder, and he could still fight Fury if Fury decides to come back and get all the belts. You never know what the case may be. Like it's you'd be surprised how things open up. So,
mm,
but I don't think he should stick around too much longer though. He
mm,
done. He's not the fighter he was, and he's still in a good position though. Where it's like, man, I hate to keep saying it, but he could go out with a real bang. He can make
mm.
some money, and that'd be that.
So do you think like like fights with Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury, are you think that they're still gonna pull in the same draw as
Uh,
they would before? Because
I
this loss,
Mhm.
right? And I'm gonna let you talk. And
Yeah,
so
yeah, definitely.
so this loss, right?
Right.
Essentially, or even let's go back to his first loss against Andy Ruiz, right? So we can I've stated before that matchup he wasn't supposed to lose.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Anthony Joshua wasn't supposed to lose against Andy Ruiz in that first bout, right? And then so he goes against, so he redeems himself in that fight. Right now he goes against Alexander Usyk in his I would say his second title defense, right?
Yeah.
And then so from here he lost his second bout against Alexander Usyk. So I know at some point Alexander Usyk does have to defend his titles because I mean that's part of the game, right? So
All right.
he has to be able to defend his titles after fighting
Josh.
Anthony Joshua, right? And then so for Anthony Joshua, the biggest thing about the heavyweight bout, right, as I stated earlier, was there was a window in the heavyweight division when Klitschko was champion for a long time because Klitschko was champion for 9 years,
Mm-hmm.
right? He was heavyweight champion for 9 years, undisputed. And then so now that you have Anthony Joshua, because Anthony Joshua came at a point where Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury, we had these three guys, and there was questions as it pertains to who is the best heavyweight in this division. And
Mm-hmm.
then so you have Deontay Wilder, who's only fought, right, the best heavyweight, in my opinion, right, is Tyson Fury, strictly based off, the wins that he's obtained throughout his career. And then now that you got Anthony Joshua, who's lost to or I would say this, he hasn't even fought any of the other three heavyweight champions. So now that Anthony Joshua, um, he has some losses on his belt, which is one being Andy Ruiz, and then being, the other two being Anthony Usyk, or Anthony Usyk,
Alexander. Alexander.
Alexander Usyk, right? So would that be the same box office attraction? Would that reel in the same type of pay-per-view numbers
Like,
as it would before, in your opinion?
if I'm be honest, probably not what it could have been.
Mm,
Definitely not what it could have been. But I still think it'll do numbers though. Like man, it could have been. Let's for example, let's just
mm,
say Water beat Fury twice. And Joshua, you maybe I even have to lost to Andy Ruiz. He could have lost to Alexander Usyk too. But say he would have won his rematch, he would got his belts back, and they would have met at that time. Where Joshua has shown that he can adjust and come back and make the adjustments that it take to win the rematch, because that takes something to come into a second fight with somebody you already fought and be able to change your whole game plan up and do something different. A lot of people can do stuff different. They only know how to fight how they fight. It's kind of one dimensional. Only some people could like. It gets real complex when you start fighting all different type of ways
mm,
and things like that. But if he did show us some type of, because he's still learning too, he's young. Him and Water is young too. But imagine he's being young. He's learning on the job.
mm,
Realistically, that's how I look at it too. Some people been doing this like where it's effortlessly. Like it's effortless for Usyk. The way he is just fluid. You can tell he's been doing that for a long time. It's just not second nature for Joshua. He's gotten
mm,
there off of athleticism. But like I said, let's say he comes back, he beats Usyk, he's back on top of the world. So and let's say it's a good win over Usyk. If it was a scenario like that, once again, obviously, I just think it could just at that point that's a lot of hype building on something. These are the top two guys. So once again, do I think it could draw those numbers? Like you don't know what it could have been because
mm,
it never became. So you
mm,
can't really. We could only just imagine how big it could have got, honestly. But like I said, I think it's still kind of peaked where it peaked at. It's still decent. It can still work from there as far
mm,
as what they can do because
mm,
that's still heavyweight boxing at its best when you think about it.
mm,
Heavyweight. It's not a lot of light shattered upon the heavyweight division no more. So
mm,
when you do have these guys, just the biggest names and things like that, it just makes it that much more important because it's like, you know, it's only something you need to work from.
Okay.
But
So let
they're
me
all in the mix.
all right. So let me ask this, right? So, if you're Anthony Joshua, right,
Right.
and you're in the position that you are, what's the next bout that you take if you're trying to, bounce back your career? Let's just say Anthony Joshua does take another bout. Let's say he doesn't retire and he's still trying to get his championships, but they don't give him the rematch. Who
Right.
is the next fight, or what is the next big fight for Anthony Joshua?
I feel like there's really only one obvious big fight. Well, just like I said, there's two.
Mm,
Because there's really, it's weird. I still look at heavyweight boxing being like the three big guys like Fury, um,
Wilder.
Joshua and Wilder. So I still
Mm,
look at Alexander. He's coming in there and he's just kind of because he's the only one coming from cruiserweight. He's the only one that's not a natural heavyweight. So it's still like
mm,
he's just in there, finessing. He's getting his just due. He's
mm,
getting how he got to get it. So he's in there. But I
mm,
still look at them as the big three. So it's like, man, if you can't get in with what's the name, if you can't get back in with if you can't get back in with Usyk, and let's say Usyk has a mandatory coming up, where he
mm,
has to fight. IBF is making maybe fight, somebody right away, things like that. The only big fight would to be, like I said, with just money wise, like even if it wasn't Water, it had to be Tyson Fury,
mm,
because other than that, like I said, I just can't. AJ status is so big, you still can't. He's still AJ. Whereas like it'll be weird seeing him in any fight, but a big popping heavyweight. If he's fighting
mm,
one of them contenders, like he's really stopping the ground up. AJ at that pop, like AJ, you might as well call it in quits at that point. If you're
mm,
kind of get back, get up in the rankings and things like that, and fight guys like one guy won in heavyweight. The heavyweight about that was on before the AJ fight. First of all, I feel like that dude lost. I forgot his name, but he fought the Asian dude. And so they're prime examples of two heavyweights, climb up in the rankings looking for a title shot. And I just feel like, AJ is just past the point where once again, if you're not fighting a top dog against some top dog money, you need to just walk
mm,
away. That's
mm,
just how I feel about it. His status is too big for him to go back. That's like Floyd losing, and now we seeing Floyd fight somebody like, you know, Lord knows who. I can't even like really, some little up and comer. Like, it just be like at the point it's a time to wrap it up. Like, you're almost a gatekeeper at that point. If they get past you,
mm,
we know. If they get past AJ, then we know that like that's to say like, okay, you're ready for a championship fight now. Like you got past AJ, like you're ready for the next plateau. And that's
mm,
being a gatekeeper. You don't want to be a gatekeeper. You want to be the guy where it's like you people careers are getting based off you now. It's like, they're building their careers up. Now if they get past you, once again, they have a clear title shot. If not, if they can get past you, then it's like now they're looking at that person like it's no way they could get the champion. They can't beat AJ. You know what I'm saying?
mm,
Who can't be the champion? So it's like, before you get looked at like that, before he gets looked at like that, because it can happen quick. It's boxing.
mm,
It can turn fast. So I feel like once again, everything just makes sense from now on. You need to fight just top dogs, and
mm,
he can use his status to do so. And like I said, go out with a bang. And then too, he could always it's still a fight like we saw with the Usman fight. Like, you know, on paper, AJ might not look like he could compete with these guys or whatever the case may be. Well, to me, he kind of still can because he's still like Usyk is Usyk. You can't just because he's losing Usyk, does it? You can't tank AJ like that because it's like Usyk is special in my opinion. So
mm.
forward, man. Just like the Kamaru Usman, you feel me? Like just like he was beating the guy, and the guy came back, and AJ's always had a chance like that, like a boxer's chance. He could always land something on somebody and still be a force to reckon with. So he could take that, for what it is, and use that as momentum to, like I said, go out with a bang. You see, you
Mm,
going, get back to the top, or you gonna die trying. Forget all
mm,
the other minor stuff, because he has enough money. He has enough money. You know what I'm saying? Where he doesn't need those fights, honestly.
mm.
So they just have to make sense. It is my opinion. That's if I was AJ, I think that's how I'll be using my status to make some things happen and get in some situations where I could make something happen real nice.
So let me throw this matchup out here. So I think after this, right, considering the circumstances and considering the situation, would you say the Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder bout is more appealing at this point?
More appealing, yes and no. I'd say more appealing because I thought regardless it was gonna be appealing first and foremost. Like say once again, if like even with Water, say if Water once again we could hypothetically speaking he beat Fury
Mm,
twice first case and be and Joshua still lost to Usyk. How he lost to Usyk, it'll
mm,
still be it'll still be a fight. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it'll still be something at that point. So I mean, but to answer your question, if I can say, would it be more? Is it more appealing? I'm not gonna say. I can't say it's more. Okay, put it this way: it's more appealing now. Okay, I guess you can say it's more appealing. My bad, because it's like I get like when they was both on top, it was appealing, and then when one kind of fell off, it's not as appealing no more. But now that
mm,
the other one kind of fell off too, and kind of now they're back, so I guess it's more appealing now that the other one has kind of plateaued with the other one again, where it's like we're kind of on the same marker again as far as us both at the top now. Like we're not necessarily at the top, but we're right
mm,
underneath where the case may be. So it's back. It just made it more interesting, I guess. Because now it's like somebody at that point. It's one of the fights where somebody's career, it's gonna make or break. It's gonna make or break both their careers. It's gonna make one of their careers. It's gonna break the other person's career. You
mm,
know what I'm saying? So is it more so? And it makes it more interesting and more appealing. Like you want to get in that regard.
mm,
Yeah, I could say so. Like
mm,
it's different stakes, right? At first it'd be probably who's the pound, I mean, who's the king of it all.
mm.
To once again who still has a fighting chance.
Yeah.
At that redemption or that status.
Mm,
That I feel like every fighter will want to have, especially at a
mm,
heavyweight. The heavyweight you're the top dog if you at the top as a heavyweight. So
mm.
yeah,
Nah, I agree, bro. Nah, for sure. Now let me ask you this though. Now, if they were to fight, who do you got taking that bout?
it's funny at this point. Just to see how this one I saw from AJ.
uh,
Man, okay, it's two things. Okay, how I see it. I don't know if Usyk was just making AJ look like that.
uh,
Look, he's making AJ look real. Just AJ was scared to, you scared to throw at that point. So you scared to throw because, first of all, you don't want to miss. That's gonna make you so tired. And then when
mm,
you miss, he's making you pay because he's hitting you and things like that and stuff you don't see. The things you don't see. So, I just. But then again, too, I feel like even back to Joshua, even after he fought Ruiz the second time. At that first knockout, I just like Anthony Joshua. He's changed his game plan from that day forward, and it's never been as aggressive as it was before the
mm,
Ruiz knockout. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. So today, it's like I don't know if Usyk made Joshua do that, or if that's gonna just be Joshua now, extra timid and extra, you know, extra cautious now. And
mm,
I feel like in Water too. But I feel like so now with Water, going back to Water, Joshua is still physically strong, and I feel like
mm,
Water, he don't do enough cardio for me. He don't do enough road work. Where I feel like he don't be having his legs fully under him throughout the whole fight.
mm,
So, I feel like if Water can't get out there early, if he can't get Joshua out there early,
mm,
he might have some problems later on. But I think he could, through all 12 rounds, he could get, if Joshua can't do nothing and get him
mm,
out, I
mm,
feel like Water, at any point, 12 rounds, Water could, like sleep him. You know how Water be doing people. Like, I could sneak in any round. Like,
mm,
then AJ ain't got no chin like Fury. So it's like, to be good enough twice, three times, things like that. Like, but then like I saw on the flip side with AJ, if he's just too brutal, if he's too physically strong for Wilder, where I feel like, because Wilder, his base isn't that strong. Like, you could low-key push Wilder around and things like that if you really want to start doing it, especially over the course of the fight. So,
mm,
I think that would be AJ's like strong suit, and then he could probably, and then Wilder can't make him. And Wilder's not that creative with his combinations either. Like,
mm,
Usyk could come either type of way. He's constantly have you. You don't want to throw because he could uppercut you. He could come around, go straight.
mm,
It makes you more
mm,
timid. Where I feel like Wilder, you can see his punches come a little more, so it could be easy to
mm,
embrace. It could be easier to prepare for it, and kind of you make you a little tad more relaxed. Because you could kind of see him winding up with his punches and things like
mm.
that. But
The jab cross.
yeah, but just saying that jab cross, I play Water. All his punches be crazy, but his little jab, his little 1-2 is
Uh,
like one of the best. Just that kind of, not his jab. His jab is not good. His
uh,
two is not good. Which two is kind of good, but it's hot when he puts the one. Like, and obviously his hooks and all that is not the best uppercuts.
mm,
When he puts a 1-2 together, it's just his 1-2 is good like that. But I
yeah,
feel like that's just he could
yeah.
I guess the 1-2 because he could see him setting up the two, but
Mm,
I feel like he's probably one of the best people. I want one of the best people to be able to do that, honestly.
mm,
Especially, we can see what that 1-2 could do to you. But
mm.
all in all, though, who I probably got winning that fight at this point, Wilder. Because I just feel like,
Wilder.
I just feel like I feel like that punch could put AJ out, honestly. And
Mm,
just AJ, like I said, this is the AJ now. Like, this is the AJ, like the timid AJ, where it's like, I feel like, once he starts trying to learn other techniques and other styles and rhythms and other people coach him, it's not always bad, but I feel like for him, especially like I said, he hasn't had that time a lot. He hasn't had a lot of time to perfect boxing. So it's like,
mm,
I don't think he's perfecting his own style, his natural style. Why?
mm,
Now he's trying to implement other people's training and things like that. It's like, I don't. He fully has a conquered throwing punches. I feel like he has to. I say that because a good fighter like Crawford or somebody like that, they don't have to really think before they throw a punch. They just kind of react. It's reacting. It's like they're not thinking about it. You know what I'm saying? I think AJ thinks about all his punches. And that's just that's just something that over time you will over time. Obviously boxing becomes more natural, but when these guys are doing it as kids and things like that, at that point, that's like kind of all it's like
mm,
you can't really develop bad habits at that point. It's been, it's just a kid. I know. I remember me as a kid. I had so much energy and things like that, and I, just think. I don't know. I feel like we all just know when you're a kid, it's always better to start early on in life. Long story short, but so that's the thing that AJ just hasn't had, and I think right now he looks kind of confused in his style. Now. He don't really have an identity no more with his boxing style.
yeah.
And Wilder, I think Wilder is kind of the same way, but the fact that he hasn't really changed this up, you feel me? I feel like he still has some identity with his. AJ lost his identity because I feel like he's doing other stuff, and it's just not him no more. Wilder is like, he still has his identity. Maybe it's not the most polished and the most this and that and third, but that's all he knows, so it's most comfortable. I still think he has that in him. So yeah, long story short, man, I just at this stage, I have my boy Wilder.
Okay. All right. So let me talk about this real quick, right? So the state of the heavyweight division, right? So we got Alexander Usyk, who retained his heavyweight championship, right? So where does it go from here? Where does the heavyweight championship go from here? Because we already got Tyson Fury, who was unanimously the best heavyweight of the division, right? So now that he's retired, Wilder had to take a step back due to the numerous bouts against Tyson Fury, right? So Anthony Joshua, we've recently just seen the situation that he's put in, so he might not get a rematch immediately. So right now, it's we're in Usyk's world, right? He is the champion of the heavyweight division. Where does it go from here? Where does it go for him? How do you look at this in the eyes of Usyk?
I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, Fury is going. I think he's in my honest opinion. Fury's gonna come back. I think yeah, especially just kind of from what we all know of Fury. Like I feel like I don't know, he kind of he be needing those. He first of all he needs things in his he needs things to look forward to in his life. He's one of them guys. I feel like he kind of be battling like depression, all type of stuff. But he needs purpose. So I could just see him like coming out, especially just with all the stakes. How people are gonna be, how the social media is gonna be talking about it in the this media period, all that stuff. I for sure think Fury was on. They want to, he wants to fight. He's gonna come in because he hasn't officially retired. Like, I know he just lost his little ring magazine though, but I think he's still technically the WBC. I'm not sure if he because I know they gave him like a time period if he's officially gonna retire it or not. I honestly don't think he did. I don't think he officially. I didn't see nothing about him officially retiring no belt. So I still think he has that green belt. So even with that being said, that means as long as he has that green belt, Usyk's one he's gonna need if he wants to make it all come together. He needs Fury at the end of the day, and if I feel like Fury kind of needs him as well because Fury has yet to be Fury. He retired, but he clearly could have taken one step further and had all the belts at one time, and then truly go out like there's really no other champion. There's nobody else. I'm the top dog heavyweight of the world. Got all the belts. You're the biggest baddest man in boxing at that point. So, I think just it makes sense. I feel like people always kind of flirt with retirement and things like that, just to hype something. Just to make something more hype. Or it's business at the end of the day. So, I can't really see. Like, okay, I can't really see nothing else going with the heavyweight division. I feel like the heavyweight division is low key, in my opinion. Like other people might feel differently though, but I feel like without anything else about this division, and it's almost dead. You feel me? At the end of the day, you hold on to life. You don't like we want to see what Water could do. If Water can make. I know I want to see Water try to make one more run. If that's something and then whatever the case may be. But other than that, that's something that makes sense. I can't see other like anything else. Like I said, I think Water and AJ is still a good play. I'd rather see them over any other heavyweights right now. I don't know why. Like, so just because of how big, we haven't had like a big three heavyweight division like that in a long time. So it was like a long time coming, and it was supposed to come out. It was supposed to. It was supposed to been happen. Like, so we all frustrated that it played out how things played out. But there's still a lot of answers. There's still a lot of answers questions that need to be answered and things like that. So yeah, with other than Fury and Usyk coming and doing their thing, I really feel like the division's dead after that though. Like Water can make a little noise here and there, like I said with Joshua, or he give him a crack at Usyk just because that still makes people want to watch Water versus Usyk. Yeah. And we can even see Fury and AJ. But I think like I said, I feel like if Fury wins. If Fury beats Usyk and gets all the belts, we can still see AJ. Maybe it's like something like that. But other than that, he could go on. He could go on with his career after that. Honestly, if he's thinking about retirement like that, after he does that, I really feel like he doesn't have anything. He doesn't have any more questions for the answer. Like, he doesn't really need. He wouldn't need an AJ fight. But an AJ and Fury fight would still make sense just because, just for what it is. Like, so it's still if it's to me right now, if it's just not them three going at it, including Usyk too. Like, if it's not them four, I should say, mingling with each other. It's not like the welterweight division like that. Like, that's just, to me, that's dead after that. I don't really care too much about. So whatever happens next, I know it needs to be some flirting going on between all four of them. To keep me interested in just anything that's going on with the heavyweights at that point. Other than that, I'm looking at really.
So let me cut to this comment real quick. By Drunk, he's somebody that's been on my page for a little bit, and he's always got some opinions, right? So I brought up a comment first. Previously, he said AJ should have took Wilder fight back in the day. And another one, he said Fury beats Usyk. He really the Gypsy King. So the first comment I wanted to address is AJ should have took the Wilder fight back in the day. How do you feel about that? Me personally, we're gonna get to what you think. So me personally, I'm on the same page. I think he should have been took that fight against Deontay Wilder, win or lose. Right? I think that would have been a better situation at that point in time. I think he would have made more money then than he would have made now. What's your take on it? as it pertains to Anthony Joshua
But
taking the fight with
do you
Wilder.
say he would have made more money then because obviously you're saying it because when they were both undefeated, they both had
Mm,
they had their stock was a little higher, both of them. What you saying? It would
mm,
make more money back then. Yeah, but see that's the whole thing though. People be trying to build these mega fights, which is it's good when they finally make them happen, but it's like damn, at the same time, it's so much that happened in the time. Like we wasn't expecting AJ to even lose to. That's what first started doing it with Ruiz. He was supposed to go through Ruiz, you know what I'm saying, and not have to look back at that. Now you're because his stock, even though he beat Ruiz in a rematch, his stock was still down. Now it's like AJ's he's beatable now. We've seen it wherever the case may be. So definitely looking back at it, yeah, obviously he should have had to fight. Obviously he should have had to fight before, before all this back, just back when they first started talking about it. But this sucks because if they both would have just been obviously on top of the game since then, and then they finally made the fight happen now. Well, that'd have been big, that'd have been bigger money. So we could say it now, like, oh, yeah, I wish they would have fought back. They would have fought back in the day.
mm.
But if they'd have fought now, they both would have technically been in their prime. Like, say if they'd have fought now and they both would have undefeated, they both would have been still in their primes on top of that. Because it's not like they're fighting all washed up, They're older, things like that. They both in their primes. Say if they're hypothetically speaking, they're both undefeated. Like damn, I should have made more money. It would have made sense now. Like if they'd have cleared out, if Usyk would have got beat and Fury would have got beat, now AJ and Wilder's fighting. Yeah, that'd be more money then. But yeah, obviously, once again, looking back at it, looking at it now, the obvious answer is they should have fought back in the day.
So do you think, because I have seen some footage of Tyson Fury sparring, right? Recently. Right. So he has been in the ring. So let's not get things misconstrued that, even though fighters do announce retirement, they're still actively in the ring, right? They're still training. I mean, we've seen Floyd Mayweather, right? He's taking exhibition bouts. He's still training. He's still staying in shape. I think, the same scenario applies to Tyson Fury as of recently, right? So if he were to come back and be like, you know what, I want to try to get the ball rolling again against Fury and against Usyk, right? So the Usyk, just based off everything that you just said, between Tyson Fury and Usyk, do you ultimately think that Fury and Usyk is the biggest heavyweight bout at this moment?
Yeah. Heck yeah, for sure. I mean, and I feel like because it's not like one of the fights where these two guys are the best, but nobody really care who these guys. Like these guys are the two best in their division, but who are they? It's like it's like Fury's well known. I feel like people taking a liking to him. Just the confidence. Social media is big too. So I feel like these guys are really known. Somebody like Fury is really known. He has a big following. And then Usyk, their fight makes sense because, or it's gonna be the biggest because not just because it's the two best heavyweights fighting, but who they are respectively and what they just their following. Everybody can't do that. Like I said, it's not the first time two of the best people don't fought in a division, but it's like if y'all wasn't selling tickets to your fights, all the way up until this time, it's not gonna happen now just because y'all both the champions. It's like so it's for them it's deeper. It's like like other than y'all being the best, y'all put the best. Like people want to pay to see y'all fight as is. So and then on top of that, you guys are being together and things like that. That's just too. It's big. It's definitely the biggest. Like you can't really you can't get no bigger than that right now. Even like I said, because I once again, as far as heavyweights go, I still think, like I told you a bunch of times already, like I think Joshua and Wilder will still do numbers. That's saying a lot. I think they'll do almost as equal the numbers. Like that. I think that's the thing. That's the core part about boxing, bro. Like AJ and Wilder not even being the two best in the division right now. they could still potentially
Mhm.
have the bigger fight, because it's like and make more money in their fight type deal. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Because that's just how it go. That's like, for example, I remember I was watching on the same night they had Javante Davis. Well, I don't know if it was the same night. I think it was like back-to-back weekends. They had Javante Davis fighting Rolly, and they had Devin Haney fighting Kambosos, and they're both in the same division. I think these fights either on the same weekend or 2 weekends apart. But it's like I'm looking at it like, dang, like Devin Haney is really fighting for all the belts, like
Mhm.
everything. He's fighting for all the gold, like the top. They don't get no better than that. Like this is whoever wins this fight is the champ, is the top dog of that weight class.
Mhm.
But, you look at Javante Davis and Rolly's fight, and they made more money. They individually made more money than and um, Devin and Kambosos. Or at
Mhm.
least if Rolly's didn't do it, because Rolly probably could have did it after. Stop. After after pay-per-view buys was counted for and all this type of stuff, Rolly made some good money too.
Mhm.
I feel like Rolly probably made just as much money as Devin, and you got somebody like Javante who made more money than everybody else.
Mhm.
But it's like, this fight is happening in the same division
Mhm.
as this other fight that's going on, but it's way more at stake for this other fight. Yeah, these fighters in this fight is getting paid more money. So it's like that's the crazy thing about boxing. So they take that back up with the heavyweight division. Just because on paper and for all the gold, um, that doesn't mean that Fury and Usyk bout or their matches will bring in more money and revenue and do better numbers than
Mhm.
Fury. I mean Joshua and Wilder. I was gonna make another point too, but I lost my train of thought, so it's cool. But nah, that's so. But okay, that's I was gonna say. But the thing about Usyk and Fury is, unlike Devin Haney and Kambosos, they're individually superstars. You know what I'm saying, themselves. So they're still gonna do numbers. Period. So it's not like nobody's losing out because everybody's making great money on that night. Don't get me wrong, but don't be surprised if you know that say both those matchups did happen within the same year or whatever case would be. Don't be surprised if Wilder and Joshua do bigger numbers, bigger paydays,
Mhm.
bigger everything. You know what I'm saying? It'd be like that. I promise you.
Mhm. So let me flip the script a little bit because I want to get into the last part this of this conversation, right? So we already know, in the boxing world, we already got one of the biggest bouts coming up, right? No, one of the biggest. It's Terrence Crawford versus
Thanks.
Earl Spence, right? This is probably going to be one of the biggest fights of the century, one of the biggest fights in boxing, right? So, we got no negotiations ongoing at the moment. There's been a lot of back and forth between Terrence Crawford's camp and Earl Spence. We already know that Earl Spence has most of the belts in the welterweight division. Terrence Crawford probably has a longer resume, but Earl Spence has, the better title defenses,
True.
right? So coming up, right? So rumor has it that this fight is gonna happen and is gonna go down in November. So who do you have taking this bout?
Hey man,
I know it's early. Right? So,
Yeah.
but give me your early take on it.
Oh man, it's funny, bro. All right. Let me try. That shit is. First of all, I really
You want me to go first?
Go ahead. Let me hear what you gotta say.
I got Spence taking it, bro. I even go and think twice about it. I got Spence taking it. Reason being, right? I think Terrence Crawford is a phenomenal fighter. I think this guy is ridiculous, right? So he's been in the welterweight division. He has some years on it. He's done some things, right? His record is irrefutable. If you go down the rap sheet, he's knocking out people from left to right. But on my argument with Earl Spence, right? So Earl Spence is somebody that I followed for a long time, since the days that he was training with Floyd Mayweather in his camp, sparring with Floyd Mayweather, and just the fighters that Earl Spence has fought, right? As in comparison to Terrence Crawford, right? We talking about Mikey Garcia, we talking about Danny Garcia, We talking about Sean Porter, right? We talking about Ugas, right? We talking about all these fighters that Spence has fought. He has a lot more title defenses. So it's almost like night and day between these fighters. One guy has he's put in the work against a lot of other fighters, but Earl Spence has the names that that's gonna reel you in and be like, okay, you know what? I think I'm gonna take this guy, right? So with Earl Spence and Terrence Crawford, back to you. Just from based off what I said, who are you taking from that point of view?
All right. So, first and foremost, I feel where you're coming from. I really do. And like I said, because I said it was 50-50. And just because you said Spence, I kind of want to be played devil's advocate a little bit to play why I think Crawford could. Like I say it's 50-50 because I also see how Spence could. But with Crawford, okay, first and foremost, we talk about the title defenses. Spence doesn't have more title. He doesn't have more title defenses than Crawford.
He doesn't.
At welterweight, I think maybe, but just in general, not Crawford's been a champion. You feel me? Crawford's been kind of doing this, and it's like it's still kind of the same. I'm not gonna say like mentality, but with like championship bouts is championship bouts. Like I know some of his other divisions. Obviously, the competition wasn't always the best, or that's not his fault because he's fighting the best he could get to conquer a division. So he's doing what he got to do. He's moving up, finding bigger challenges. But overall, he's been a champion longer than Spence. I feel like a lot comes with that, with just that experience. You feel me? From a position like that. So he's still game. And then ever since he's been a welterweight, first of all, he's filled out nice at welterweight. Like he's solid. Bro, solid. He's filled out real nice. Even though I know Arrow's a bigger welterweight. Don't get me wrong. That's always a good thing because it's no telling what Arrow got to do to make that weight. You know what I'm saying? How that can affect. Because I feel like people be better at other divisions, and you might be somebody at this division, but you fight in another division, they're just more comfortable. That's more comfortable for them. So you can't really, that's neither here nor there. So back to Crawford. He's filled out nice at welterweight, but so I can't knock him as far as like he at welterweight he's game all the way game. Everybody that you named that Spence beat fought, I think Crawford would do him up too. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't think not one of the guys that Spence beat, I don't think anyone could beat Crawford. Just honestly and truthfully. And we saw that they've had two people in common that they fought. And obviously, he fought them after Crawford fought them after Spence, but both guys he did them worse than Spence did. And I can't, like I said, but if you already went through somebody like Spence, I feel like you are going to be probably a little worn down by the time you get to Crawford. Like I understand how all that goes, but yeah. So now let's get that in mind. Crawford is a solid welterweight through and through. There's nothing small about him. There's no homo, but there's nothing little about him. He's game for us. So now we go to talk about like what's in the arsenal and the tool set. Crawford is for sure more like expendable than
Spence.
For sure. Like as far as okay, definitely like I think because Crawford could do a little bit of everything. I feel like Spence could do it too, but Crawford's kind of like equal at everything. Now I think Spence has a better inside game than Crawford. As far as like I wouldn't say better, but his work rate would be a lot more. You know what I'm saying? It's like when Spence gets going in that inside fight, you know what I'm saying? I feel like he's real gritty. He could bite down and just he's either gonna beat you at that or he could hang with you wherever the case may be. Like in the case like Crawford, like if he can't, I'm not saying he could fight better on the inside than he probably can't fight better on the inside than Crawford, but it's a different type of fighting on the inside, but it's more Spence is more just kind of, I don't want to say fundamentally sound, but more, I wish I could find a word for it, as opposed where Crawford is, he's a little more fluid with his punches. I feel he could throw punches from different angles and all different type of punches, all comfortably, things like that. Like Crawford is just a more comfortable fighter. I think he can switch all type of stuff. So, but I think, that's what makes it 50-50 for me, because I feel like Arrow, he probably is naturally, you can say he's naturally bigger. He's just because Crawford been probably folding these people up in the welterweight division. I don't think he's folding Spence up. Spence is gonna be in there, all 12 rounds, whatever the case may be. It's just to me, it's just gonna be interesting to see Like it's just 50-50, man. It's hard for me. It's hard for me to really. I can't break it down like that because they could both do stuff real well. I just felt like once again, Crawford just more tools, not a lot more tools, but just more tools in his arsenal. You know, he's kind of very fit. I thought he can adjust more than Spence. Definitely, I think he could. As far as adjustments go, I think he can adjust things like that. But Spence is so gritty and just so dog like. I feel like I don't think no matter what Crawford does, I think Spence gonna be able to turn it up and keep it turned all 12 rounds, like not get tired. Things like he's not gonna get sloppy towards the end. You know what I'm saying? I think he's gonna be real fundamentally sound all throughout. And it's funny too. On a side note, these fights remind me of because obviously we got Spence and Crawford, but I don't want to just stray away from that because we also got like Jerron Ennis, and they remind me of like the modern day Hagler, Hearns, and Leonard. You know what I'm saying? I think Crawford is like Leonard, real got a cold arsenal. I think Spence is like Hagler, real, real just gritty, real physically strong. Like you can't really knock him off his balance. He has, real good balance, he's really strong, things like that. So I'll give him the Marvin Hagler, and then I'll give Jerron Ennis the Tommy Hearns, like a sniper, you know what I'm saying? Put you out because he's still kind of expendable too and things like that. But even when you just look at it in that light, like you see, I can say even in that regard, you see how Cigarette Leonard pulled away from Marvin Hagler when they fought. A lot of people seen that happening. Because Marvin Hagler was doing what he was doing and things like that. But I just see that kind of being the case. But it could just go either way. Like on that night, you feel me? I put it this way: if Spence and Crawford fight 5 times, or they fight, if they fight more than once, like I said, I give them randomly speaking 5 times. I don't think either one is beating the guy all clear out 5 times. You know what I'm saying? I think it's just on that night who's kind of better on that night, because people have good nights, people have bad, off nights, whatever the case may be. So it's one of them situations where I think, whoever wins that night, I feel like they're gonna barely squeak it out too. It's gonna just be, they're gonna barely squeak it out, or the case may be. And like I said, and they fought 4 more times after that. I can't put it like the other person won't squeak it out. After they adjust and do what they need to do, and blase. Like now, who will get the majority of the wins, best out of 5? That's a good question. I wouldn't know, but I know they'll both get some wins under their belt. Before you. So yeah, definitely. That's how.
Man. Hey, here on Cash Sports, man, we don't say I don't know. It's one or the other, bro. You gotta say one.
Come on.
You gotta pick one, man. You gotta stick to one side. You can't pick one or the other, bro. You gotta say son. I already said Spence. Feel me? So you gotta pick a side, bro.
You gonna have me stuck on here all night, man. Because I'm telling you, like, look, because a part of me would want to say Crawford only because like he could do, he does a little more. You know what I'm saying? So like boom, but it's like when I look at how Spence will be coming, how I imagine Spence coming at Crawford, it's like I don't think Crawford gonna be able to just as comfortably as he did with everybody else, like he did against Porter, like he did against Brooke, whoever, you know what I'm saying, or Kaviaskis. It's like these guys ain't Spence. You feel me? So even though Crawford has that ability, I see, he can adapt. And he can just do a little more, because a little more help, especially when you can fight going backwards. You know what I'm saying? We can fight on the inside. You can come forward when you could. When you set punches up real good jab, all this type of stuff. It's like, man, you could be what you got to be to win a fight. That's almost like kind of like a Floyd situation. Like Floyd was. That's big, just being able to. That's why, because I'm not gonna say that makes me lean against Crawford, but that's why I give Crawford a chance. You feel me? Because he has. That's if you could adjust in the fight. It's one thing to adjust in a rematch. If you could adjust during the fight, you know what I'm saying. 3rd round, okay. Now for your next 3 rounds is different. Your next now from the 6th to 9th is something different. And then you finish up, you still got energy. You finishing up with something different. Is what I'm saying? It's just like that stuff wins fights to me. That stuff wins fights, but. Like I said, everybody who's Crawford has done it against, everybody Crawford has been up against, he's done just that. You know what I'm saying? He's never fought a same. I feel like, put it this way, Spence. I hate to say this. I'm not saying this. I'm going to get Spence, but Spence will fight the whole way through a whole fight.
Sound like you is though.
I gotta play devil's advocate because you chose Spence.
Yeah.
It's good for the cast, for the podcast.
Yeah, I got you.
So yeah, that's really just me trying to play devil's advocate because that stuff it wins fights, man. But you can't these guys, everybody I seen Crawford do that against is not Spence. You feel me? So it's like when you got that work rate, when you could just really be in somebody's grill all day. And Spence is still athletic. You feel me? He's still athletic. I feel like he can adjust. You know, it's just not as prevalent as Crawford. Like Spence, you know, I think Spence can. He if he wants to buy. When I say adjust, Spence could box you if he wants to just box you. You know what I'm saying? Like, he chooses to get all greedy and get like fight in the pocket. You know what I'm saying? Like he could fight up close, inside all day. He's really good at that. I think that's his best because he's so strong. He just he just outworks you. His punches are more quick and efficient and set up better and things like that. That's his game plan, and it works real well. So it's like even though I see Crawford adjust time and time again, it's like Spence's game all the way through. You feel me? He's probably just as athletic, just as strong, just as this, just as that. He got a chin, everything. So it's like, dang, and you only got 12 rounds. Like, yeah, just all that adjusting is good, but it's like it comes to an end at some point. It's like how late in the fight you're able to start adjusting. Because just because you start adjusting later on in the fight, don't mean you're gonna get him out of there. It's just you might start winning later rounds, but he probably, he's probably this is whatever case may be. That still might not just be enough. Time could still run out in that 12th round. Where it's like maybe if he had kept this up for 2 more rounds, we could have seen the tide change. But one of those situations. So that's why I can't choose. But just to be a devil's advocate, I'm not gonna choose. But to be a devil's advocate, I would just try to get you. I would try to get you to understand why I think Crawford, could win. He's strong. That dude's strong, man. Come on, it's a lot, man. Crawford got it going on for real, bro. Crawford got it going on. Like you can't. He's one of them guys where too. I see people move up all the time. Even Teofimo just moved up. And to cool part about it, he doesn't look like he's fully adjusted for 140. I feel like there's guys at 140, who like Regis. I think Regis is serving Teofimo. Little examples like that. Or even Sergey Lipinus. He just fought today. I think he could give Teofimo a real run for his money at 140. He's not the biggest dog at 140. But you got guys like Crawford was like, dang, every weight you move up, you just, you know what I'm saying? Your skills is up to par. You're strong. Like, you feel me? Like your body is, it's like moving us not meant for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Even for people who have to move up because maybe their weight's not enough. I hate to keep giving other examples, but it's not for everybody. So when you like Crawford and you've been doing that for I think he started at 126. But I know he won belts at 130, 135, 140, and now 147. But even to do stuff like that, like that alone speaks for itself. It's not easy. People just because it's boxing, they people like to kind of look past stuff like that. Like, oh, he moved up, became a champion, blah blah blah. But when you really sit there and think about what it takes to sit there and have to just all these considered, you know what I'm saying? There's nothing easy about that. It's nothing. No matter how easy somebody makes it look, it's not easy. It's not easy. It's hard. It's harder. These guys are bigger. They're stronger. They're a good champion. Their skills up to par. It's a harder task at the end of the day. But yet, time and time again, you keep doing it. And like I said, you make it look easy. Crawford, he's only had unanimous decisions. You feel me, bro? Ain't never had a split decision.
Unanimous decision, TKO, KO.
He's knocked everybody out at welterweight. So like, you feel me? Even Spence, I know Spence, he's not been knocking everybody out, nor has, I know Crawford gave him like a majority decision or split decision or something like that. Which I'm not saying, that's neither here nor there really, but you got to consider this for Crawford, man, just to understand like, how he's coming. He's really coming, you feel me, with a lot of experience and a lot of, it's just a lot of factors, man. Skills like a mug. His power is for sure up there. It's not like, it's not like, he hasn't changed too. He's fought the same all the way through. So his skills been getting it done all the way through. And cool part about it, the power has been growing with it. The power has been coming right along. That's not the case for everybody. Some people gotta rely more on skill. It's like, nah, man. Everything about Crawford's situation is like on the up and up. So you feel me? People look at Spence. Spence is, like I said, I see why they'll pick Spence. But then you gotta stop overlooking all the details about Crawford. I think a lot of people do that. They probably think because he's moving up from a small division that it's Spence. Like Spence is too big. To whatever case, I don't know. I've heard a lot of different stuff.
Well, you know what? Because I know we still at the end of things we hear. But for me, I'll give you like my perspective on how I judge Crawford, because I do look at Crawford as one of, if not the top welterweight in that division, right? But the thing about why I can't have Terrence Crawford as the pound for pound fighter in boxing or even in the welterweight, I go off names. I go off people who you fought. right? And despite the fact that Terrence Crawford has knocking people out, unanimous decision, majority decision, right? Terrence Crawford has been doing his thing. We've seen him. But on Earl Spence's end, you can say that he's done the same thing that he's needed to do throughout his career. He's done what he's needed to do, regardless of the fight, right? Regardless of who he had to fight, he came out with the W, right? And we you already know we watch fights. We've watched Terrence Crawford fights together. Right. So the last one against Sean Porter, you know, and I know I'm putting you out on a limb here. He was like, "Yo, this is probably the first real test of Terrence Crawford when he faced Sean Porter, right?" So, and that's something I we were on the same page with, right? So, and that's not to take away from all the other fighters that Terrence Crawford has fought before, but I think there's something to be said if you're trying to compare these fighters with Earl Spence and Terrence Crawford. I think that does matter. I think the people that you fight do matter when it pertains to the matchup between Terrence Crawford and Earl Spence. What do you guys say about that?
But once again, so let's already put it out there. Obviously, that's not Terrence Crawford's fault, you know.
Of course not.
But it's like, you know, if you really know boxing, you know Crawford has fought some. You know, I'm not saying he's fought some guys, but he's had some interesting stuff where it's just like, you know, you will want to see how he answers this test, or a case may be. I mean, a few times, not too many times, but I had a few times, you know, and obviously expecting to win, whatever the case may be, and he does just that. But you know, he obviously, in my opinion, he just like everybody else, he's really destroyed everybody he's fought. So fast forward,
which is true. You're right.
He's everybody. Like it's never close, bro. Like, emphasis on that. But moving forward, it's like, you know, so it's not his fault. It's not his fault that he hasn't had any good opposition. But when he finally did, you know, Sean Porter, you know what I'm saying? That was like, to me, that's not the test, but that was probably like one of the tests, you know, one of the first of many probably. But it's like, this is a real test where nobody could like deny it. Like, dang, now we're gonna really see what Crawford can do, and we see what Crawford could do. I'm not saying he blew Sean out the water. It was competitive, but you know what I'm saying? He was never just, you know, it's like he didn't have a Cinderella story, nothing like that. It's like he was down and it was a back and forth fight. Like, nah, he was solid the whole way through. You know what I'm saying? He was fighting higher competition at the highest weight he's been at. But yeah, he's, you know, he's respecting Sean for who Sean is. Because Sean, you know, you gotta respect Sean when you're fighting him and things like that. So he's doing just that. So it wasn't a blowout, but at the end of the day, you know, I mean, it's a stoppage and things like that. But I won't say it wasn't necessarily a blowout, but it was a dominating performance. You know, he was never in trouble. He made adjustments all throughout finally found an adjustment that was right for, you know what I'm saying? He made adjustments all throughout the fight. And so it's not like he finally fought somebody, because we all agree that Sean Porter is somebody. But it's not like he just fought somebody and, you know, he looked average. No, he fought somebody and then did what the hell. It's, you know, every fight gonna be different too. I mean, wrong, you can't styles make fights, things like that. But when you look at it just full circle and things like that, yeah, he went in there and just handled his business. Like, you can't really come on now. So it's like, and that it wasn't. It's not like he's been running from opposition and he finally decided to fight somebody and Sean Porter. Like, nah, he's been looking for that stuff. Yeah, I finally gave him what he was looking for, just a little taste to show y'all something. I got him out of there. We all know Sean. You can't get Sean out of there like that. You feel me? I got him out of there. Like, what's next? Like, give me experience. You know what I'm saying? Type deal. Like, he's game. You feel me? Like, Sean maybe lost a half a little step. You know, he wasn't all the way, you know, past the prime, no crazy like that. He probably, you know, he had his little losses, so that's when that does what it does. But with somebody like Sean, all his losses were so close. You know, his confidence lies to this, so he'll still, you know, he would, like, Sean wasn't washed up or nothing like that. You feel me? He was still at his prime, and I think Crawford realistically retired him in his prime. You know what I'm saying? It's not like he got a washed up Sean Porter. Like, nah, he got Sean Porter, and once again, he didn't just embarrass him, outclass him super crazily because it's Sean Porter. Caught him. Yeah, but it's Sean, but it's you know, he showed y'all that man. You feel me? Like So one thing you said, if you put Sean in front of me, you can put Danny in front of me. I like Danny. Don't get me wrong. You put Keith in front of me. Whoever takes me, all these guys that fence spot and it's like, you feel me, expected to be something like, you feel me. Just that's one because that's he's giving y'all something to see right there. You feel me? Like Sean had to be the example, but it's like So now that's just a preview or just a little taste of what it'll look like if I fight these other guys. Like I'm game all the way through. I could get down with get all the way down. You feel me? I could, I'm just as tough, just as everything. Like these like realistic, like showing that these guys don't really even belong in the ring with them, you know what I'm saying? So that's big, bro. That's really that's what Crawford did.
And you know what? I think you did made a good analogy in that perspective. Like just saying like it's almost like with Terrence Crawford, with him fighting Sean Porter, it was almost like him skipping the line. Like it was almost like, like he skipped everybody and went straight to what's his name, Sean Porter.
Yeah.
And he did what he did. He did what he needed to do. I think after that bout, there wasn't really much convincing to do on Terrence Crawford's end. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like Terrence Crawford, and nobody really looked at Terrence Crawford and was like, okay, he has to fight him, and then it essentially gets to Earl Spence.
I want to see him versus Earl. I want to see it now. That's my whole thing.
Yeah, we all want to see it now. You know what? Hey, end all that BS. We don't want to see no promoter talk. We don't want to see none of that, bro. We want to see this. We want to see this fight ASAP, bro. Like, I mean, we had this conversation, right? It was honestly at this point, it's Terrence Crawford and Spence or nothing. I want to see no other fight, bro. I want to see no other like Spence and Crawford been for not fighting nobody else, bro.
True. Them two, for them each other years, like
they got to.
I'm gonna get mad, low key. Like,
they got to fight at this point. Like it's reached that point where it was like, remember when we waited for Floyd and Mayweather? Floyd and Mayweather, Pacquiao and Mayweather, and we waited 5 years, and it had that whole. It's reached that point with this fight right now. All right. So let me ask a question based off what you just said. With your analogy, so we do have a fighter in common between Crawford and Spence, which is Sean Porter, right? Great fighter. He's contributed a lot to the welterweight division. He's fought a lot of people in the welterweight division. So based off those two fights alone between Terrence Crawford and Sean Porter and Earl Spence and Sean Porter, because this is the best analogy we have between the two fighters. One, who do you say had the best fight with Porter, and who looked the best in each of their fights? And who would you take based off those fights alone?
Okay, so based off those fights alone, just based off those fights. Okay, I feel like where Spence, what threw me off with Spence and Porter is, you feel me, once again, I just think, because all they did was fight. They fought inside the whole time. I thought it was no boxing. You feel me? It was like, no, they fought. Yeah. They fought.
It was a slug match.
All the whole time, but it's like, so it's and it was kind of close to, I think, the knockdown. Even without the knockdown, I think Spence would have, he could have edged out, in my opinion. But the knockdown really solidified it. Yeah, I mean, I feel like, I'm not gonna say I don't understand why Spence fought like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, but to me, that didn't really prove nothing. It proved that, like, you feel me, like, damn, he kind of, I'm not saying he got with you, but you wasn't super just other than that knockdown. You know what I'm saying? You wasn't like that knockdown. That knockdown was convinced, okay, that's okay. Yeah, you're Earl. You feel me? Imagine that knockdown didn't happen, and it would have been like, damn, Earl, like, what's up? Like, you feel me? Like, yes, kind of good, but y'all was kind of almost evenly. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you probably you had a little more oomph maybe as far as athleticism, explosiveness, maybe things like that, and just more technique. Because Sean be looking wild sometimes, so Spence did be looking more just solid and things like that. I don't understand why he fought like that. I think I'm not saying it threw me off, but it was, to me, it was nothing spectacular. Like it proved furthermore that he got grit. You feel me? Like, damn, like Earl just gone. You feel me? He's tough, I guess. At the end of the day, he's tough. He could sit there. He's not gonna run. Like, put it this way, because that's Sean's style. You feel me? So I feel like Sean, he can't really fight outside of that type of technique. I think Earl kind of seen it before, But
certainly, yeah.
But he just kind of showed that, all right, because Sean is really good at that style of fighting. So all Spence just showed, like, all he did in that fight was kind of show me that, like, I don't know, like, you're tough too. Like, you're tough. You could sit there and just, like, if you want to take it there, if somebody wants to take it there with you, you can take it there too at the end of the day. Like, he kind of showed me that. But Crawford obviously showed me more. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, because I feel like even when this is different though too, because I feel like Sean Porter, he kind of changed up his like they don't know fights. I guess Styles made fights too, so that's why I can't really. It's hard. It's kind of hard to answer this question, but because I feel like even Sean when he fought Crawford, he fought differently. Like he didn't fight like he fought Earl. You know what I'm saying? Like he was boxing a little bit more with Sean, trying to anticipate because I mean Sean was boxing more with Terrence. So it's so that all kind of throws me off. It's not like Sean gave both of them the same fight and Crawford did better. Like even Sean kind of fought a little differently. He wasn't as just super mauling like he usually is. You know what I'm saying? He don't usually let you. He wasn't trying to let Earl breathe. And before that, he wasn't really trying to let you breathe when he fights you. He's all up on you. But Crawford, he was trying to bounce a little more and just eat a little. You know what I'm saying? Just which is, I mean, that's his game plan. I can't say if it was good or bad, but I don't think either way. I don't think he would have beat Crawford that night. But all in all, out of everybody's performances, Crawford had the best performance. Like just out of Spence and Sean did a good job against Spence. You know what I'm saying? And early on, he did a good job against Crawford. So it's like, but if you want to rate all the performances, that night, you know what I'm saying, wherever the case may be, on my phone. Can you hear me?
No, I can hear you.
Okay, yeah. So if you want to just grade all the performances, like just based off them nights, who looked the best on those fights at either fight, Crawford. Only saying because he stopped them, and then two is like towards the end, this is that adjusting, bro. It's just crazy, bro. We can adjust. That shit is a huge it's big, bro. Adjusting is big in a fight, man. Whereas that'd be the difference right there. So he looks better because he just showed a lot. I feel like he was in the inside, you know what I'm saying? Even when he was on the outside, obviously, but he was on the inside too. And I think when he kind of stopped Porter, he was in between inside and out. I find it was weird. Like, cause that's weird about Crawford because he's inside, you feel me? Then he's like, for a split second, you know what I'm saying? Then it's like, now he's throwing punches from the outside. That's what makes him so versatile, things like that. Because I can't even pinpoint, what kind of style of fight he was doing during the night when he stopped Crawford. I mean, when he stopped Porter, because it's like, yeah, I feel like at one point they're going on the inside, but he beat Porter by being able to go to the outside. I mean, fight from the outside. You know what I'm saying? That makes sense. He fought him on the inside, but what was making him stand apart during that later part of the fight was him being able to dib and dabble on the outside. You know what I'm saying? So. That's why I give it to Crawford though, man. And that's why I just can't really rule him out against Spence. Like some people, I hear a lot of people do that, you know what I'm saying? Because I think Spence is a natural welterweight. It's like that adjusting in that arsenal, and then he has a chin, and you're strong, and you're tough, and you're just mean and all that type of stuff, bro. It's like, damn, bro, you're like a little pit bull. They're both like pit bulls, but it's like, they both just like a little pit bull. It's weird, like, but it's tough, bro. It's interesting, bro. Crawford, man. And once again, I keep saying Crawford. I still got it 50-50 because with Spence, because Spence is just he might not be as multi-dimensional as Crawford, but what he does do, he does it too well. Like like he does it. He's too gritty. He's too strong. He's too athletic. Too explosive. Too much of a high work rate. Like he's not going like Crawford. Porter start fading against in later rounds against Crawford. Spence is just not going to do that. That's why you can't compare Spence to Crawford. You can't compare Spence to anybody, the people that Crawford done fought, because it's like, man, he's going to go. I think even when Crawford lands big punches and things like that, I can't see that really putting. I mean, any punch can put somebody down, but
yeah,
I just can't see really putting Spence down like that. Because I think even when he does catch Spence is his work rate is not going to change. His how gritty his grit's not going to change. Everything is just not. It's like that all 12 rounds. So it's really that's why it's interesting to see. To me, it's gonna be that. It's like if Crawford, because Crawford's gonna have to adjust. Is his adjustment going to be good enough to is he gonna find something for that? And even when he does, when he does find something that's kind of for it, have some success with it, is it still gonna be enough? Because Spence is still that good, where it's like, yeah, you might have caught on to this, caught on to that, but it's like, can you really stop it though? It's gonna still, I'm still bringing it. It's still gonna come. You feel me? You might see it. You're gonna still feel it, whether it's your arms, your body, your head. It's coming all 12 rounds, and you feel me? He's strong with it. Like I say, you're gonna return. He's gonna take what you have to dish at him. So, he's too gritty. He's too gritty and too athletic for his grittiness. You know what I'm saying? On time, too explosive with it. So, you feel me? It's just once again going back. That's what makes that a 50-50. I know you've been telling me to choose. I'm just not choosing. I'll play devil advocate for Crawford all day because they're going for Spence, but I'm not gonna sit there and fake like I can't see Spence. Just no matter who he's in front of. Obviously, we know within the welterweight division. I just feel like I could see him taking. I could see him taking what any welterweight has to offer, and I could see him consistently and thoroughly, dishing out what he has to give throughout 12 rounds. Strong. I'm talking about 12 rounds is just as strong as the first round, and that's the cool part about it too. His punches be having the same, like, yeah. I know fighters like Canelo when he was fighting Bivol, his punches wasn't having that steam like that in the 12th round. I ain't never seen that Canelo. His punches ain't got no steam on it. I never seen that with Spence though. Spence, you feel me? He's punching. That's what he's punching just as hard. It's like I said, he doesn't have one punch knockout power like that, but all his punches are like, you know what I'm saying? You've seen Spence hella strong, hella consistent throughout the whole fight. They're all the same. They're all the same amount of power. That's one thing too. I'm like, he's never punched extra harder like that. Every punch is like the same kind of power behind it. In the 12 rounds, so it might not be the hardest, but it's super hard. It's harder, very much hard enough, to hurt you at any given moment, and it's coming all 12 rounds. So crazy, bro. This is a good fight, man. Crawford and Spence, man. You can't wait to see that.
Okay. All right. So you know what? Last question of the night.
For sure.
Right. So how does this fight end? How do you see this fight ending? Win or lose? Spence or Crawford? Knockout, TKO, unanimous decision, majority decision. How do you see this fight ending on either side?
If I'm gonna be real, I see anything from a split to a majority. I for sure see a decision first. I see a decision. Like, if it's not gonna be a decision, it's gonna be one of those rough, like, somebody will probably have I don't want to say a doctor stoppage, but it'll be one of them stoppages where, like, the fighter could have kept going, but maybe the cut was too bad or something like that. Some weird stuff. I just see stuff happen like that, but all in all, I see it going to the 12. I see it going on 12 rounds. I'll be honest, and I feel like anybody can win it though at that point, because I feel like, once again, like, Crawford's. I hate to talk in circles. Crawford's going to adjust. He's going to do different looks throughout the fight. That's going to be his strong point. But Earl is like how he comes is just too efficient. You know what I'm saying, for 12 rounds. So if it's just who's able to dang, like every round gonna matter, bro. Every round gonna matter at that point.
I got you. I think
it's gonna be not on a side note. I don't think it's gonna be any like some of those fights too. Like none of the rounds really easy to score like that. It's not gonna be just a clear cut round for this person or a clear cut round for that person. That's gonna be like kind of at that point will be what you look for in the fight. You know what I'm saying? Who you might give it to. You're obviously being biased. That's who you want to win, but the reality ain't nothing to be a clear. Ain't nothing about that. I don't think nothing about that fight is gonna be clear cut. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna all be. It has to have you thinking, have you on your heels, have you really just wondering, what the outcome is going to be, and how this round went, that round, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah.
Okay, so before we head out, I'm gonna give my prediction real quick. Right, so here's how I see this fight playing out. And I'm gonna just say it flat out, right? So I think first 4 rounds, it's gonna be a tie between the both of them. It's gonna be a battle back and forth. You're gonna see both guys. They're gonna test the waters. Each fighter is gonna give each other what they're made of. So at that point, round 4, 5, maybe round 5. I'm gonna take Spence because I got Spence to begin with. So I'm gonna say if it goes 5 rounds, I say Spence has the advantage 5-3. Middle of the fight, I say that's when things start to shift in one or the other's direction. So at that point, I see Spence, right? So I think if it's more of an inside battle, right? I think Spence has the upper hand when it comes to the inside battle. I think that's when it starts to get more intense between the 5th and the 9th, right? So they're going back and forth. I think Spence in those couple rounds, I think he probably takes maybe 2 more. So from 1 to 5, I say he's 3-2, and then from 5 to 9, he could possibly take it maybe 2-2. It'll be a tie because that's when both fighters are going back and forth. So at the end, So let's just say 9-12. I got Spence taking it by split decision. Close fight as hell. Both fighters get into it, and then it comes down to the last 2 rounds.
I think it's okay. I agree with you on that. I could say two for different reasons though, but I agree with you on the last 2 rounds though. Leading up to that, I could see it a little differently, but I will agree. Last 2 rounds is that's I think that's the part where me personally, I don't know which way to go. So once again, I feel like Crawford is going to be once again. I know I keep bringing up the adjusting, but we're going at 11th to 12th round Crawford, even probably from 10th, 11th to 12th. That Crawford, we're gonna see like one of the last stages of Crawford. You know what I'm saying? He's probably had to take some, because I think he has a lot of tricks. You know what I'm saying? But I think at that point we're gonna kind of see the last of he's digging deep into the bag at that point, trying to pull out what he can. But I don't know, killing it. But yeah, I just feel like. Damn, man, that adjustment, man. I can't really. I don't know what it's gonna look like. That's what it sucks because in my head is I'm trying to go based off of what it would look like. But what I do know is, like I said, Crawford is gonna be on his last few bags of tricks, and if those last few bags is enough to to get it, those have to be enough to get it done. It would come down to that. You feel me? Like, what do you have? Because we already know how Smith is coming 11-12. So I could see Crawford having to fight Spence off in those rounds. You know what I'm saying? Probably trying to maybe hold on to a lead that he has to a certain extent. I'm not gonna say in a sense survive, but I can't see him still in a dog how once again how Spence and Porter was when it was just a dog match the whole way, just gritty, just in the inside. I don't see Crawford, doing that to the last bell. But I see Spence doing that. That's his game plan. So depending on whatever Crawford, whatever tricks he can pull out of the sleeve around that time is gonna make a difference. I think. If he can pull if it's the right bag of tricks, or whatever case can be, it's that. But if that's it, but I also feel like whatever he has just might not be. It just wasn't enough to put off, to put air off on what he's doing, like get him off whatever type of rampage. So I feel he's gonna be on rampage mode. Once again, we know how Spence fight. He's not letting up. That's coming. That's coming all those rounds. It's the same amount of flow rate, same amount of punches, same energy, same work rate, everything. Those last couple rounds. So it's like, it's just how deeply Crawford's gonna be able to adjust. You know what I'm saying? Down to those later stages. I think I'm just kind of going off of what you was leaving off on as far as the last two. I said 3 rounds, but yeah, man, I think honestly, when I look at it, man, I could definitely see something along those lines. Like, is he gonna have enough to keep Spence off in the later round? I'm not saying Spence gonna stop him, but he might not be able to stop Spence. Is what I'm saying, as far as like really just deter Spence from doing his little onslaught. But if he can, if anybody can, Crawford can. That's my whole thing. So, yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So, you got anything else you want to leave to the people before you head out of here?
Nah, man. Really. I mean, hopefully y'all enjoyed it. I feel like if y'all real boxing heads, hopefully y'all kind of felt a little bit where I'm coming from. Obviously I got my opinions and I think how I think, but if y'all any type of true. I'm not talking about those little just those what they call it, what they call those fans, those people who are not fans, like casual. If you're not really casual, you really like pay attention to boxing, really just the science and the details behind just everything that goes on with it. Hopefully you kind of just felt where I was coming from a little bit, or even if you don't agree necessarily, you can kind of, like I said, just kind of see where I'm coming from. And then if y'all did enjoy it, bro, hopefully what I'm saying, whenever you want to have these little boxing discussions, always feel free to hit me up. I could go on. I don't know if the podcast is supposed to go this long, but you see, I could go.
Hey, bro, I got 50 hours on this.
All right. So if we can save some, man. Whenever it's boxing, I know you do basketball, you do football, you do a great job at that. That's already my expertise. So I sit back and I kind of watch that one, but I mean, I watch from the crowd. But when it comes to these discussions, definitely don't hesitate to throw me that link. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely hop on and shoot the breeze with you about some boxing for sure. So yeah.
Nah, for sure. So there you have it, man. Y'all see me, man. I brought up my boy Russell Rivas, to talk boxing and the fight game, right? We talked about Anthony Joshua versus Usyk 2. A little bit of Usman from the UFC losing his championship belt today.
Oh, he
Right? So
finally got
gotta
that.
put that out there. This is recent update. This is breaking news. Right? And then we also tapped in to the fight, to the upcoming fight that is potentially happening between Terrence Crawford and Earl Spence. Right? So, Russell, thank you. I really do appreciate you coming out here and giving your expertise on, your perspective on the boxing and the fight game. I really do appreciate it. And have a good night, man. I do. I do appreciate you coming on here
Man,
and talking.
all day, bro. We good, man. It's good whenever. I thank you for having me. This is my first time doing something like this, but
No.
it's smooth, man. You might as well. We talk about this anyway, so
Uh,
it's a great platform to do it on.
Nah, for sure. All right, man. Stay tuned for Cash Sports Podcast. Like I said before, like and subscribe to Cash Sports. I would graciously appreciate it. Help a brother out, please, man. Hit that notification button while you're at it. So whenever I hit the live stream, whenever I go live, y'all can tune in whenever. And also, right, I dropped that link in the comment section, so it doesn't have to be just between me and whoever's on here. Anybody can join, because right here on Cash Sports, we do barbershop talks, man. Anybody can hop on here and talk your ish, right? We talk about Earl Spence and Terrence Crawford. I mean, hey, maybe you could take Terrence Crawford. Maybe you could take these guys. Let me know. But we you gotta hop in the conversation. You gotta be able to debate, right? So here it is, man. We here, we talking on Cash Sports. I know y'all see that Cash App at the bottom. It is optional, but I would graciously appreciate anybody who does donate to the platform, because this is for you guys. I do this so I can give back. I want to keep doing this. I want to do this on a consistent basis. So here it is, man. So again, Russell, thank you for coming on here. One last word you want to say to the good people before you dip out of here?
Oh man, hey, shout out to you, man. For real, appreciate it. Appreciate you. Keep doing.
Hey, before you go, let the people know where you from, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Let the people know, man. Let the people know where you hiding at.
We here in Compton, California, by the way, Inglewood, California.
Yes, sir.
Here, man. It's just some West Coast. I know it's probably people from all over tapping in. So wherever y'all from, shouts out to y'all city. You know what I'm saying? For real. And once again, appreciate y'all for tuning in. For once who did tune in, for once who will see this, I appreciate y'all for real, and the support.
Thank you. All right, man. I'm gonna let you head out of here.
Yes, sir. All right, brother. Have a good one.
All right, so there you have it. This concludes another episode of Cash Sports. Once again, please like and subscribe to Cash Sports Podcast. Y'all see the Cash App, donate if you please. Right? We tapped into boxing. It was a great conversation, a great live stream. I know it's pretty late. It's a Saturday. Y'all probably headed out or probably out right now. But that doesn't stop the grind. That doesn't stop me. But once again, I do graciously appreciate it. And once